What if the dance you thought was a dream was actually a nightmare you couldn't wake up from? The old Ashworth mansion stood on the outskirts of town, its grand ballroom frozen in time. Decades ago, it was the site of the most lavish Valentine's Day dance in the county. But that night ended in tragedy, and the ballroom was sealed shut, its floors forever stained with blood. Locals whispered that on every Valentine's Day, the music would start again and the phantom dancers would return. But no one who entered ever came back. Emma had always been drawn to the Ashworth mansion. As a history student, she loved uncovering forgotten stories, and the legend of the Phantom Valentine's dance was one she couldn't resist. On the eve of Valentine's Day, armed with a flashlight and a camera, she slipped past the rusted gates and into the mansion. The ballroom was exactly as the stories described, a time capsule of opulence and decay. The chandeliers hung crooked, their crystals glinting like frozen tears. The floor, though covered in dust, still bore the dark, ominous stains of the past. Emma's footsteps echoed as she walked to the centre of the room, her breath visible in the cold air. Then she heard it. A faint melody, soft and haunting, began to play. The sound of a violin, accompanied by the distant hum of a piano, filled the air. Emma froze, her heart pounding. The music grew louder, and suddenly the room was alive with movement. Shadows flickered, and figures began to materialize. Men in tuxedos and women in flowing gowns twirled across the floor, their faces pale and expressionless. The ballroom was no longer empty. It was filled with phantom dancers, their movements graceful but unnerving. Emma tried to back away, but her feet seemed rooted to the spot. The music swelled, and the dancers turned their heads in unison, their hollow eyes locking onto hers. One of them, a man in a blood-stained suit, extended his hand. "Dance with us," he whispered, his voice echoing as if from a great distance. Emma's body moved against her will. She took his hand, and they began to waltz. The other dancers closed in, their cold hands brushing against her skin. The music grew faster, more frantic, and the room seemed to spin. "You shouldn't have come," the man murmured, his grip tightened. "Now, you'll dance with us, forever." Emma screamed, but no sound came out. The dancers' faces twisted into grotesque smiles, their eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The floor beneath her feet began to crack, and the bloodstains seemed to come alive, rising like tendrils to pull her down. Don't miss out on more tales that will chill your bones and haunt your dreams. Like and subscribe, for here we unveil horrors that linger in the shadow, waiting. Credits